This is our Tholian 1 prize ship from the Tholian Web event. Kind of a neat little ship. Kind of squishy, but it has some cool abilities, and we'll get right in and start looking at it. And there's our dial with a actual clear picture from a TOS episode, which is kind of entertaining. So I don't think that's actually from the episode, but got a nice picture of the ship there. It's pretty maneuverable. Can pull those 190-degree turns, so got it, even has a white U-turn in there. Definitely a maneuverable little ship. There's our Tholian vessel, and again you can see it's really maneuverable. It needs to be because of how fragile the ship is, but those white come about maneuvers are very nice. Would have been nice to have one of these to play in the Tholian event. I think a couple of these in the Tholian Web scenario would be just mean and vicious, because one of the abilities of the ships is that they're immune to friendly webs, so they could fly through their own webs, where your opponents are going to be taking damage from them or dying if they run into the ones from the event there, the scenario. And we have our named ship, Tholian 1. It's unique. Independent faction. 2s across the board. You have 2 weapon slots. 16 points. You have evasive maneuver, target lock, and scan. And the special ability is that you can perform the energy web action as a free action, which we'll get to when we get to that card. And then we have our generic Tholian ship. You lose one of the shields. Everything else is the same. You lose 1 weapon slot for 14 points. I think the pictures are kind of interesting, especially on the camera. They show up kind of weird, but they're very pixelated because it's actually a screenshot from the original show. I think it was off one of the monitors on top of that, so really low res, but definitely cool. For our name captain, we have Laskini. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. I don't speak Tholian. He's captain skill of 4, 3 points, 1 elite talent. And his special ability lets you target a friendly ship that's not within range 1 to 3 of your ship, and whose captain has a lower skill, which is going to be kind of defined on the one with a lower than 4, but the target ship may immediately perform an additional 1 or 2 maneuvers, straight, bank, or turn, as long as that maneuver is on their dial. The usefulness I can see it for is if you're running multiple of the Tholian ships. There's only 1 of him since he's unique, so your other guys are going to be captain skill 1s and go after him. Lets him get an extra maneuver. And they use the exact same picture for our generic Tholian captain, who's a 1. It's a very dark picture, you really can't see much on there. But for our elite talent, we have Tholian punctuality. It's unique. 4 points. And when you initiate an attack, you can discard to gain +1 attack dice. It can only be purchased for, it says for the named captain that comes with it, or any other Tholian captain. The normal Tholian captain doesn't have an elite talent slot, so pretty much it's only going on him right now. That may change in the future. For weapon upgrades, we have basic plasma torpedoes. 3 points, 4 attack, 1 to 2 range, and you can reroll your blanks. They can be fired from the front or rear arc. Basically the same as the Romulan plasma torpedoes, except these ones are independent faction. And this is what makes the ship really stand out, is the energy web. And again, these would be awesome in multiples, except for how expensive the ship is, so unless you can win multiple ones. These are 5 points, and if your ship performs a straightforward maneuver this round, you can place an energy web token in the play area behind your ship, and this can only be purchased for Tholian ships. At the end of the video, I'll kind of go through how the Tholian energy web tokens work, but they're kind of neat. They have their own reference cards here. It's actually like 4 cards long, but it tells you how to use the guides and the damage they do. As you can see here, we have our web tokens. I don't think they gave you enough, but then again, I tend to play larger games. In a smaller scenario type game, you're probably not even going to use all those, because you can only lay 1 per turn. You have your energy web turn tokens there. Target lock JJ. You disable. There's an evasive maneuver and a scan. Your critical hit and auxiliary power, and of course 2 shield tokens. There's our Tholian ship. Love these clear panels that are on the sides and the top. Very cool looking ship. As for its base, it has a 90-degree front arc. And there's your named and your generic. And just to give you a quick idea on how the Tholian web templates work. So the first thing you're going to do is choose a 1 forward maneuver for your turn. So when your turn comes up to move, you're just going to do your normal 1 forward. Then you're going to take your web token, and these are kind of neat just in case multiple players are running them. They're black on one side and they have the border on the other, so you can tell the difference. And the web tokens themselves are the same way. So if multiple people are running, you can tell which webs are friendly and which ones are not. And as your action, you're going to place this behind your ship like that, and then you're going to place your web token behind it like that. After you've done this, you can stop here, or you may use an additional one of the web tokens here to turn your ship 45 degrees, and you can put it either on the right or the left. We're going to go left here just to make it easy. And you put this template right here next to the other one, and then you're going to change your ship facing to that direction. Now this one will go away. That one stays in play, and those two count as 2 web sections. Now if you wanted to continue your building your web on your next turn, you just do a forward 1 maneuver again. And then as your action, you would choose to do the web laying. If you have the named ship, it's a free action. You move the template back to there, and you put the next segment of your web. And once again, you have the option to going straight or turning. We could turn our 45 again. And there we go. Now if an enemy ship is to run into your web, you get this little reference card that explains how to do it. And it is right there. If their base or maneuver template overlaps a web, or a ship has a web placed on top of it, you roll 1 attack dice for every 2 energy webs that are in play. And it also says rounded up to a maximum of 10. The actual little turning template on there counts. So at this point we have 3, which would round up to 4. So you're going to be rolling 2 dice. The longer your web gets, the more powerful it gets. The Tholian ships are immune to it, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't specify friend or foe. So your Tholian ship itself is immune to the web and can cross over it as many times as it wants. Any other ships, including friendlies, unfortunately, are going to take damage from running into it, so it's something to keep in mind. It's another reason I said that they would play good in a swarm, because they'd all be immune to their own things. And you can start laying down tokens like crazy. One of the interesting things is that it doesn't specify the web has to be in the same chain. So if you were running 4 of these ships, and say 5 in a swarm, and you're all dropping web tokens, the very first turn you drop, you have 1 web segment and the turn template, so each ship has 2. That's 10 sections of web on the field. That means those things are doing 5 die damage right off the bat. And each turn after that, they're compounding. So if you're running multiple ships, getting up to that 10 die maximum goes really quickly, and I can see that being a lot more effective. With a single ship, it's going to take a while before it does any respectable damage, and people are going to try to focus on the ship to try to take it out. So if you have multiples, they may survive long enough to build up a decent web. Once the webs are in play, they stay in play until your last Tholian ship is destroyed. So if you only have 1, as soon as it's destroyed, all the webs go away. If you're running multiples, they got to kill every single one, so you can kind of keep 1 in the back and protect it, and let your other ones lay webs and keep them in play longer. They're definitely going to be targeted quickly, so you can't build up a huge web, but it is kind of fun, and it adds a little extra theme to the game. Definitely interesting, especially if you combine them with the Tholian web scenario that came from the OP event. And it's a lot of fun to play. Just wish they were a little more durable. Hopefully we'll get something like a Recluse and some other bigger Tholian ships later on. The wording on the 1 elite talent that comes with the set kind of leads me to believe we're going to see more in the future. And that's pretty much how the web laying works. That's pretty much it for this ship. Like I said, it's not very durable. If you can keep it alive, the webs are kind of a cool thing. I could see running multiples of them would be a lot of fun in some home games, but at the same time, unless you win the ship right now, they're going for about $50, so I don't see people having many. I did see a battle report somewhere where a guy had 3 or 4 of them in a squad, which either he's really rich or he bought an OP kit at some point. But anyway, it's a fun little ship, and we'll see you in the next video.